Hello VC, Tony here. Tony's LPs are us. Thanks for stopping in. Today I'm going to do part two of probably, hopefully many parts, or side two or side B. You know, I'm going to hopefully do many sides of this segment that I kind of thought of, a few weeks ago. And that's called Comfort Records. My Comfort Records. My Comfort Records obviously are personal. They're not going to be your comfort records. So this is just my opinion. Some of these comfort records I picked today for chapter 2 or side 2 of my comfort record segment. Some of them I consider perfect albums as well, not just only comfort records for me. And if you didn't tune in on the first side 1 of my comfort records, where I explain what I think comfort records means to me, comfort records like comfort food or a comfort movie or a comfort pair of sneakers, something that you could, just put on or eat or think about at any time, and you feel good. You feel happy. Brings back memories. They could be melancholy memories. They could be good memories, but it invokes something inside you, and it's personal. Now, I just did that. I just said that. I got the chills because I hope that I'm communicating what I think I should explain and define comfort albums, comfort records. So I'm going to start, but comfort food, comfort records, same thing. You get that homemade chicken soup, or maybe your mom made or your grandmother made, or homemade stew or lasagna that you would have on a Sunday dinner with a big Italian family. It's comfort food, and it makes you happy, and it makes you think about what makes you happy and what made you happy and what will continue hopefully to make you happy. So I picked out, I believe I have 6 records here. A couple of them I pulled out. One I pulled out an original and a reissue just to show and show off basically. But these aren't in any order. These are 6. So this is chapter 2 of my comfort albums. Tony's LPs are us. First one up, like I said, no order, is this one that I love. I probably had this for 50 years. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. It's called Collector's Item, All Their Greatest Hits. And believe me, this record rocks. I have a lot of Howard Melvin and the Blue Notes regular records, not just the greatest hits. But I pull this out all the time, even to demo my equipment, because The Love I Lost and Bad Luck, and If You Don't Know Me By Now, and Wake Up Everybody, it doesn't get better than that. And especially the recordings on this Columbia recording from the Philly sound. There's the inner, and there's the Columbia pressing from the Sound of Philadelphia, I think it is, or Philadelphia International Records. So it doesn't get better than this. And of course, you have on here, the great late, where's all their names here? I'm going to read them down if they have them here. But they don't even have the listing of the names. But, Teddy Pendergrass, just amazing. People thought Harold Melvin sang lead, but it was Teddy Pendergrass right there that did most of the leads, I believe, and the leads that I like anyway. So The Love I Lost, Bad Luck. This was the start of disco, too. These records were basically the disco in its infancy stages because they had that beat. This is 1976. Just good stuff. The famous a lot of these were arranged by the famous Tom Bell, Huff, Gamble and Huff, but no order. But one of my picks for today, Comfort album. Now this Comfort album is just total opposite of that Comfort album, but this album is just as good in a different kind of way. Lou Reed, Rock and Roll Animal, recorded live with an entire band. I think the band ended up going with Alice Cooper. I think Alice Cooper kind of took these guys from him. And but the guitar players on here are just out of this world. Dick Wagner, Steve Hunter, Prox John, Ponty Glenn on drums, and Ray Coolcourt on keyboards. and just an amazing. If you don't know this record, buy it right away. Buy this record. This is a later issue that I have here on the orange label. This is Rock and Roll Animal, the legendary 1974 live album. Classic solo renditions of songs by the Velvet Underground, remastered under Lou's direct personal supervision. And this was at the princely price of $18.99 from Best Buy, when Best Buy was, I think Best Buy still sells albums, I'm not sure. But if you don't have this reissue, this one sounds great in its own right. And this is a Best Buy series, nothing to do with the Best Buy. That's obvious. That's pretty funny. Nothing to do with the Best Buy big box store, but Rock and Roll Animal on here, man. Intro, Sweet Jane, Heroin, White Light, White Heat, Lady Day, and Rock and Roll. And that's on the black RCA. Had this record since day one, and I wanted to compare the new pressing to this particular reissue. I'm sure this has been reissued all over the place, but there he is. There he is, transforming right there. But one of my comfort albums, I go to it all the time. And again, another defining, thing I could get across with a comfort album. It's no matter when you put it on, what track, what side, day or night, in the car, in the backyard, reading, having it in background music at a barbecue, it is still comfort. You know every nook and cranny of your particular pressing because you played them that many times. So you pull that off the shelf, and it is just a phenomenal record. This is not a comfort album, but I love it. It just was stuck in there. This is Bo Diddley, Have Guitar Will Travel. So we'll just put this up here for now. We'll just stick that there so you can look at that. But that's a great, I just love that cover. It was stuck in some other albums. Another comfort record that I've had since high school. This is the MoFi. This is number 3158. Electric Warrior. Electric Warrior. Here's the great Mark Bolan there. Full length, suitable for framing. Really cool. I could put this record on at any time of day and night, and I'm happy. I'm thinking about all the times I played it. This is a 45 RPM, so this one rocks. But the original on reprise, the original Warner reprise, sounds great. I have that as well. I have a copy or two copies of that as well. But of course, I love the 45 RPM. I don't love getting up every 3 songs or whatever. But this is the kind of record where, I know every song. It's glam, or it's, whatever you want to call it. Glam rock, I guess. Jeepster, The Motivator, Life's a Gas, Rip Off, Bang a Gong, Get It On, Mambo Sun, Cosmic Dancer. The cover was by Hypnosis. I did a whole video on Hypnosis with Big John. And of course, this was produced by the great Tony Visconti, who's a Jersey guy, I think. I know he lives in New York now. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. He does not know who I am, but I give a shout out. Check out his Facebook page. He's still recording. His family, his kids are in the business. But Tony Visconti and my friend Tony Gayo knows all about the production of this album. He loves it as well and has the lyrics. So this record, whatever I put it on, I'm not going to take it off. I'm going to play it right through. In this case, I may not play it right through because this is cut up into 2 records. But if I put the original on, I'm critically listening, which means I'm in the sweet spot and I'm getting into this. This is just a masterpiece from a person who got taken away way too young in an automobile accident. So Get It On, Bang a Gong, Electric Warrior. Check it out. Look at that. Very reminiscent of a Jeff Beck cover. Next up is a record that I play all the time. I've got a few copies of this. Just sounds great on Evolution. Dennis Coffey, the great Dennis Coffey from Detroit, who was one of those session guys. I believe he was also did work for the Motown crew that did all the Motown records. Dennis Coffey was on Evolution, and but this is Lighthouse, One Fine Morning. You could see that. Now this is a record that I put on, but I basically only play One Fine Morning when I put it on, when I pull it. But to me, it's still comfort. It's still a comfort album. It gives me a lot of pleasure. One Fine Morning, you play that. This record is an audiophile record. If you see this record in the wild on Evolution, if it's the right pressing, I only paid $5 for this, and I got this at a discount, so this is one of my other copies. You can see the price there. It was a closeout where this antique store was going out of business, and most of their records were either 50% off or 75% off, so I actually bought a ton of records there, and unfortunately, it's the mall is now either going to be warehouses or condos, right? But I remember after I bought my initial, 50 albums or whatever at half price, I actually went back and bought more, and I actually walked through the record store with my phone, and I was telling Big John what was available, my brother-in-law, Big John, and I was actually buying records for Big John based on my recommendations and what he was looking for, because at that point it was maybe 75% off, and there was a lot left. It was one of those times when, people weren't into, maybe six, 7 years ago, still vinyl was hot, but for some reason there was a lot of vinyl left, and we were able to get good vinyl because he would actually grade the vinyl. So you would see VG Plus up here, near mint, sealed, etc. But check this out on Evolution. It's worth a showing of the actual label, so you can see it. Evolution. Number in New Jersey is, I can't see the number. Stereo 3007. Wow, that's serendipity. 007, 3007. Didn't know that. And there's the record, and you can see that record. It's pretty nice, pretty clean. There's the label. But this is a comfort record, not necessarily a comfort album, but I pull it. Rest of the album's okay. It's not in the league of One Fine Morning. So if you don't know One Fine Morning, play that on a stream, on a YouTube stream or whatever. Next up is a great one. I actually have this as a promo. The First Dire Straits. First Dire Straits, Mark Knopfler, David Knopfler, John Inslee, and Pick Withers. Pick Withers is a drummer. He isn't a guitar player. That's odd, right? But just a great album. The first one, 1978. Again, high school or college rather. Just an unbelievable album. You have Down to the Waterline, Water of Love, Setting Me Up, Southbound Again, of course, Sultans of Swing, In the Gallery. Just put this on and just relax, fix yourself a drink or a cup of coffee, and just rock out. I remember telling my boss at the record store, I had heard this record on a radio station in New York, WNEW-FM. It was on late at night, and we would listen to it in the car, and we had FM in the car. We had 8-tracks, we had cassettes, and then I remember when we had the 8-track player, then cassettes came out, you had a cassette adapter which you would put into your 8-track, and it would fit in the 8-track, and if you put the cassette in the adapter, and you would play it through your 8-track player. So they also had that for a CD player, for a cassette player. So everybody's adapting. That's why they're called adapters. But I told my boss, Jay Vogel, get this record. He didn't know anything about it. I'd heard. I go, this record's going to be big. He bought a couple copies. Actually gave me the promo that has the gold stamp on it. So I don't think it's a white promo, but gold stamp. And we sold, of course, this is still selling. We sold, tons, thousands of this record at probably $2.99, $3.67, $2.67 back in the day. This was probably either a $5.98 list or a $6.98 list, and we would discount those. Now, this record I consider a perfect record. it could be considered a greatest hits record, but it's something everybody knows. And I just have an original. I don't have any of the reissues. Don't really need it because I have a first press of the first Boston. Okay, with long time, More Than a Feeling, on a orange Epic. You know this. You all know the history of this band, right? Must have sold, I don't know, the first year probably sold 10 million. More Than a Feeling, Peace of Mind, Foreplay, which is almost 8 minutes long, of just perfection. And there's the album. And this is a first press. I've had this album since it came out. Rock and Roll Band, Smokin', Hitch a Ride, Something About You, Let Me Take You Home Tonight, 1976. This rivals the Meatloaf album of, I think, the same year, Meatloaf's debut album, Bat Out of Hell, which I'll probably have on a future segment, because for me, that's also a comfort album. But this is not only a comfort album, it's a perfect album. And that's it for today. So you have this. There's the back. Here's the hype sticker. With the hype sticker was a magazine excerpt. I can't see what the magazine, it may have been Time magazine or something. Let me see. Oh, Rolling Stone magazine's excerpt review is printed on the hype sticker. 2 hype stickers on shrink. Just precious. So that's it. Comfort Records, Comfort Food. It's all the same thing. Thanks a lot. Thank you for all the subscriptions. I hope everybody's doing well. If you haven't subscribed, give us maybe a consideration for just subscribing. It really helps us out. And let me know what your comfort records are, and let me know if you think this is a cool segment, because I'm trying to do things that other VCers aren't doing. Although I'm always inspired, and I want to give a shout out to Dave, and of course Kenny's Audiophile. And I just saw a great video from Noble Records. Noble Records that owns a store down south in the USA. So, but Dave and Kenny's Audiophile, those are my guys. And I just saw a nice video from Noble Records, and that's a great name, Noble, right? Can't get better than that. So keep rocking. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you again. Ciao.